Hello, this is a short sequence to help you find balance through your season of spring. So to begin, have your feet a little wider than hip distance apart, softness in the whole body, and then you're going to begin trying to draw a figure of 8 with your pubic bone. So imagine that there's a little light or a little paintbrush and you're trying to draw a figure of 8 as you draw forward and back and from left to right. And then you might want to start bringing in a little bit more movement from the hips. So you curl one hip forward and back, and then the next hip forward and back. And then notice how there's a good amount of bend in my knees, and that softness in the whole of my legs can help scoop into the figure of 8 a little bit more. And then you can start to bring in your arms as well, introducing a little bit of movement into the arms. Either great big scooping movements or sort of loose circles. So spring is the season of pleasure and play and fertility. It's the season of the maiden, and the pelvic region, the hips, are typically associated with those ideas of unbounded pleasure and potential and creative fertility. If that all feels a little bit too feminine for you, just think of yourself as Mick Jagger with your hips like snakes. So the wonderful thing about spring is that it is a season of unbound potential, to open yourself up to possibility. And when we restrict ourselves and we feel too closed and rigid in our mind or in our bodies, then we're limiting our ability to create new visions. But sometimes if you feel like you're not tethered within some boundaries, that potential can just feel a little bit chaotic, untethered, or directionless. So the wonderful thing about this movement is that you are allowing space in your body to open up, so that you can open up space and looseness in your mind. But at the same time, you're always trapped within the boundaries of your own energetic field. So the figure of 8, as your hands and your hips track, remind you that you've got all of this space, all of this potential to work within your own field, within your own space. And there's a sort of reassurance of knowing where you can move from, where you can move to, where your boundaries are. And that sense of boundaries actually liberating. So you can carry on like this for as long as you like, change over when you feel ready, and do the other side. That other side might feel completely different to you, might feel easier, it might feel just a little bit strange. But if you can open yourself up to play equally with comfort and discomfort, to find pleasure in all, then you're going to be able to move through your season of spring with a lot more balance. Okay, so the next movement, come back to standing. So the wonderful thing about the idea of growth that you learn from nature is that in order to grow tall and reach your full potential, it's essential that you're really strongly rooted. You have a very strong foundation. So take a moment to allow the weight to drop through your body and to sink through the feet. Allow a little bit of a shift, like you're a tree swaying in the wind, and you're not bending and losing your balance. You're literally just shifting the weight from one foot to the next. Can you feel as you shift the weight that the weight pours down into the earth like roots? You might even feel a little sink and then rebound. And then as you sink your weight into one side of the body, the other side feels so light, so liberated, that it might be easy to just effortlessly lift it up off the ground. So try that for a moment, just shifting the weight. And as you feel strongly rooted, you're liberated to rise. And then following that same idea of springtime as a season for space, we're going to start to open up a little bit more space in the hips and the body. So like your little puppeteer, can you lift that hip up and then open it out to the side before it lands? Again, always finding circles wherever you can in your practice. The circle reminds you of the cycles that we go through. So nothing is too rigid, nothing is too boxed, nothing is too linear. Everything has its time to arrive and leave. So this could be a huge, big, open circle, or it could just be a gentle, like, ballerina pirouette. But bring your attention to your hips, this region of fluidity and pleasure, and see if you can make it feel a little bit more playful. And if you feel a little bit unbalanced, like I just did, remember not to get rigid and stuck. The season of spring is about being organic. There's no straight lines. In nature, everything grows with a wave. So once again, you can practice this for as long as it feels like it takes to shake off that rigidity, to break through those limitations and those boundaries. And bring a little bit of an attitude of play, flirtation to your practice. When you finish, just allow yourself to root back to the ground. Bring your fingertips towards each other, palms facing up as you balance the Qi, lifting up the energy up to your heart. Flipping the palms and then storing it back in your lower abdomen.